Yes, yes.
Okay, I've already introduced a little about you. Maybe for to solve the time, uh, I will give the time for you about 15 minutes for your presentation. Uh, okay, maybe okay, time is yours and start
Yes.
from no, please. Thank you.
Alhamdulillah, salatu ala Rasulillah, wa ala alihi wa man tabi'ahum ila yawmiddin. Amma ba'd, min ash-shaytan ar-rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I'm sorry, the echo voice is coming back. Can somebody turn off the phone? We can hear you. Because the voice is coming back. Whatever I speak, it's being repeated. Pardon?
I think somebody has turned off the mic. Please, the operator start with another audience except the Dr. Dzulfikar.
Yeah. Maybe if they can mute the phones, because when I speak, it's just repeating itself and it can't be speaking. Is that okay now?
Yes, it's okay now, sir.
It's still coming, but let me continue. My respected brothers and sisters, when it comes to the global sighting, yeah, still the voice coming back. I'm so sorry. I can't hear myself.
Yeah, the sound is clear from here.
It keeps on coming to me and interrupts me when I'm talking. So if people just put it on mute, that will save us this headache. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, we can hear you, sir.
Now it's clear. Jazakallah khair. Now, when it comes to the month of Ramadan al-Mubarak, there are two methodologies which are usually used by the Ummah. One is Ittifaq al-Matalib, Wahdat al-Matalib, the unity of horizons, or Ikhtilaf al-Matalib. Now, if you look at the fiqh discussion, you will see that the Hanafi, Maliki, and Hanbali school of thought, they prefer Wahdat al-Matali, or unity of horizons, or what we call the global sighting. And it's only the Shafi school of thought which has insisted upon Ikhtilaf al-Matali, or diversity of horizons. Now, the situation of the Ummah in the past was that people were living in Spain, in Andalus, and the people in the East had no way of knowing when the moon was sighted there, or the people of the West would not have any way of knowing when the moon was sighted in the East. Right now, if you look at the world situation, the world has become a small village. Social media, TV, faxes, cell phones, within a second, the news goes from one part of the world to the other part of the world. So we need to look at the situation from the perspective of Islamic unity and the respect of Islamic civilization. As you know, the Ummah is one Ummah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to have a unity And look at the situation in the world, in spite of the fact that we are over 2 billion Muslims, the situation of the Muslim Ummah is really bad. And the example is clear what is happening in the Middle East. So therefore, unity of the Ummah starting their Ramadan on the same day, or doing their Eid on the same day, and having a kind of united front, it really gives a lot of weight to the significance of this Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And if you look into the nusus of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the ahadith, when the Prophet ﷺ said, "Sumu li ru'yati wa aftiru li ru'yati," fast by sighting it and break the fast by sighting it. The Prophet ﷺ did not say fast by sighting in Saudi Arabia or in Mecca or in Medina or in Sham. He said that it is connected with the sighting of the moon. So therefore, our early Salaf Salih, they said that the sighting in one place, the Yalzam Yani Jami and Nas, is basically obligatory for everybody else to fast. So therefore, as Imam Ahmad said, "Al-Zawal fi dunya wahid," that the horizon in the whole world are the same. So therefore, I am suggesting, as the Fiqh Council of North America has kind of agreed upon, that if the moon is sighted in anywhere in the world, all those people who share the night with that area should fast, as the Prophet ﷺ did when a Bedouin came from outside Medina and said, "I sighted the moon yesterday." The Prophet ﷺ and the people of Medina were fasting, but he ordered them to break the fast and celebrate the Eid. So we have got these kind of examples in the ahadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in which we can find some kind of resolution for the global sighting. I also know that horizons in the world are two: the eastern horizon or hemisphere, and the western hemisphere. So sometime when it is night in the western hemisphere, it is day in the eastern hemisphere. So what we can do is that all those people who share the night with the area where the moon was sighted, they can have it on one day, and the next day will be for those people who have not shared the night. So this way, at least the same day, in the day it will be celebrated, or the same day in the Islamic day will be celebrated. But still, as I said, that there is a difference of opinion among the scholars, and those differences were basically based upon the political differences, or the people of different countries having different rulers. So if we can have some sort of agreement upon a global, I would say, calendar, which will be followed by the Ummah throughout the world, that will give us a united front and the sense of unity which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has required us in the Quran. I'm sure you will have plenty of questions, so please, I will give you the opportunity to have questions and the discussion more than the lecture today. So please feel free to ask the question.
Okay, thank you for your presentation. Mungkin sekilas, please excuse me to speak Indonesian to deliver the message to the audience. Sekilas yang disampaikan oleh Dr. Dzulfikar adalah hampir sama seperti yang disampaikan pemateri juga, bagaimana keterlihatan di sebuah tempat bisa menjadi rujukan sebagai transfernya seperti itu. Apabila di sebuah tempat yang jauh terlihat dan mengalami terbuktilah seperti itu kan, maka di daerah tempat lain boleh menerimanya, sama seperti yang pernah terjadi di zaman Nabi ketika di Madinah. tidak terlihat, namun ada yang melaporkan hilal yang terlihat, maka Nabi menyampaikan boleh berpuasa karena telah ada yang melihat hilal di tempat lain tersebut. Nah, yang ditekankan oleh Dr. Dzulfikar adalah perlu sebuah resolusi untuk sebuah solusi dari perlu sebuah resolusi untuk sebuah solusi global gitu. Jadi walaupun ada yang tidak setuju, mereka boleh berbeda, namun berbedanya harus 1 hari saja. Karena kalau lebih dari 1 hari, tentu hal ini tidak sesuai dengan kaidah fikihnya. Karena kalau kita lihat kaidah fikih sendiri kan, kalau bulan Hijriah itu ada 29 hari, ada 30 hari. Jadi kalau berbeda metode bisa menghasilkan lebih perbedaan dari 1 hari, maka itulah yang salah. Maka boleh ada yang berbeda, tapi bagi untuk orang yang menerima, the one that accepting, maka haruslah mengikuti dan juga berada dalam 1 hari yang sama. Jadi untuk setiap orang yang telah melihat hilal di mana saja, karena beliau berada di Amerika, maka untuk tempat yang lain di luar Amerika boleh menerima hilal yang ada di Amerika tersebut sebagai keterlihatan hilal. Mungkin dari audiens ada yang ingin bertanya, silakan. Ya, silakan kepada audiens 1 orang. Okay, sir, there are one audience want to ask the question.
Yes.
Cek. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you for joining me. So, I'm from Indonesia, actually, in Aswan City, in Turkey, BDM, actually, in Assam. The doctor, I have question, especially my question for you. You said before, you said that it doesn't matter if the different only 1 day. Could you show me the hadith maybe, or in the Quran maybe? It's the first question. And the secondly, actually in this world, especially Indonesian country, different phenomena but measure locally in measure ruqyah locally. So could you explain to me, to us, how to define from if the phenomena a global phenomenon, but the measure hilal is made local. So could you explain my question? You get it from my question?
Brother Rafi, can you explain me the question, please?
Yes.
A little.
Alright, I think the first question is, what is the specific dalil from the Quran and Sunnah that then we can rely on about the Ittihad al-Madalik, or the concept of global calendar? And the second question, I'm struggling to actually, Doctor.
Yes. Let me answer the first one, and then you basically explain to me the second one. The first one is, there is no ikhtilaf al-matali, basically dalil either from the Quran or from the authentic Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu. But the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu, sumu li ru'yati wa aftiru li ru'yati, is very much clear that the Prophet ﷺ said, fast by sighting it, and fast by break the fast by sighting. He did not specify it with any broken sighting. It is a generic command that when the moon is sighted, then basically the month of Ramadan starts. And as Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal said that the horizon in the whole world are the same. There is one moon in this whole earth. And when it is born, basically that is the universal birth of the moon. So therefore, sighting of the moon is whenever it is sighted. So that is a stronger dalil than the dalil for ikhtilaf al-matali. And more important than that is that this is the civilizational need of the Ummah. The Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam need a calendar. And the calendar cannot be for each locality. If you allow each locality to have basically their own calendar, then basically you are saying that the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is divided into regions, into tribal areas, and there is no unity or there is no common denominational factor.
I have a question as well, Sheikh Dzulfikar.
Yes.
And we have a very specific issue, Fiqh issue, on the concept of global calendar. If you want to accept the global criteria, then we need to accept also international deadline that define where the day starts. Do you have like a specific evidence as well? What is the basis, the foundation, if we want to accept the international deadline?
Actually, what happens is that from the Islamic perspective, the day begins, say for example, when the sun comes out. It is collected. I mean, the whole day, 24 hours day, begins with the evening, with the new moon. And then the Nahar is the day when the sun rises. So if we start our Islamic day with the new moon, then we can say that wherever that new moon's evening or night is shared will be the day. But if we are talking about the Nahar, which is the sunrise, which is connected with the sunrise, then it would be what we are calling right now the international dateline, because they start from the middle of the night. We start from the evening of that night. So, I mean, it would be very difficult to find a nas connected with the international dateline, because the international dateline is a concept which was developed in the 21st century or in the 20th century. So to avoid this confusion, we can use our own Islamic day, which begins with the sighting of the moon. So we say that all of those people who share the night or the next day are basically following the same Islamic day. I mean, imagine if we take Makkah for example, or say for example Makkah and Medina together as the convention, that whenever the moon is sighted somewhere where the night is in Makkah for example, then all of those people who will follow the night in Makkah will be fasting the same day, next day, or they will be breaking the fast the next day. Now that night goes into Indonesia, into basically Malaysia, so they are sharing almost the same Islamic day. Is my point clear again?
Very clear, very clear. I'm just wondering, what is your thought on what I'm going to say? We have a jurist here basically saying that we can rely on the concept of al-urf or custom, al-ada al-hakama, because nowadays it is the accepted deadline globally. Then what has been applied throughout decades by human beings, then we don't need to divide a day differently. So basically the dalil is just al-ada al-hakama, al-ma'ruf wa al-mashhur sharqan. What is your saying, or your thought on this?
I mean, with all honesty, my opinion is that we need to realize our goal of unity. So basically, there is so much room in the Islamic fiqh to navigate this situation. So right now, everybody is following the timeline, the dateline, for example. It has become a universal norm. And we are following it in almost every aspect of our life. So those jurists who say that al-urf or al-ada muhakkama is an Islamic position based upon which we can accept the international deadline, I would agree with them.
Very clear, Sheikh. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir, there's one more question from the audience.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you very much. Dr. Dzulfikar, we are planning actually to officially launch the use of the utilization of the global Islamic calendar in February next year. Okay, that's why we are actually we need actually network with brothers and sisters in Europe and in America and in other parts of the world. Do you know more specific which countries actually have utilized global Islamic calendar in their daily life? So in this case, that this information is important, so we can we'll be able to develop our networking with them. Thank you.
I mean, I can tell you from the Fiqh Council of North America's perspective, our criterion is if the moon is sighted or is capable of being sighted anywhere in the world. And this is the position of Fiqh Council of North America, this is the position of European Council and Fatwa. And we got, based upon these councils, there are many countries who make the announcement, even though sometimes they say it is based upon the local sighting, but I see that they are following the global sighting. So if you look at those countries which follow the Council of European Council of Fiqh and Fatwa and North American Council, you will see that a lot of them could be very helpful to you. But I can tell you that, say for example, if Saudi Arabia makes the announcement, there are some people in the region who follow it, and there are some other also established like Turkish calendar. So if you can connect with the Diana in Turkey, they will be very helpful in this regard, and the European Council of Fatwa and the Fiqh Council of Fatwa will be very helpful resources.
What about countries located in eastern part of the world, like Australia?
I think there are some masajid, I would say a lot of masajid in Australia and New Zealand. They follow the European Council of Fiqh and Fatwa. But there are some organizations in Malaysia also who would be very helpful in the global moon side.
Do you have the by name? I mean the organization in Malaysia?
Take my cell number from Brother Rafiq, and I can help you with those names. There are so many of them.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, is there any audience want to ask question? Ada lagi dari audiens yang ingin bertanya? Boleh dalam bahasa Indonesia.
My apology, is another emergency meeting I have to go and attend, otherwise I would have loved to continue this discussion. My apology.
Alright. Can you share your thought just for 1 minute about what is happening right now in Palestine, Sheikh? 1 minute or 2 minutes before it goes?
Yes. It is such a sad situation that the innocent civilians, children, men and women are being killed, and the international community is just watching. Everything is happening under our watch. I mean, it is such a small city, the most dense city maybe in the world, and the world is not giving those innocent people the opportunity to leave the area, and the Israeli government is bombarding indiscriminately. This is such a sad situation. It has basically exposed the Western world and their hypocrisy, their double standards. They do not look at the Palestinian blood as equal to others' blood. And unfortunately, this is a clear sense that other people are the chosen people of God, and somehow the Muslims and the what you call the Palestinian people are not equally human. So therefore, we need a lot of du'as. We need to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect our brothers and sisters in Gaza, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring them the help and the assistance. All of us who need to play our part.
Do you think that we can blame Hamas as well?
Basically, what happens, we have to look at the context. I mean, 70 years of occupation, hundreds and thousands of people killed, no water, no medicine. Say, for example, when you do not give people hope, when you told them, you expect them to fight back. So I do not condone Hamas, or I do not condone what they have done, but I'm just looking at the context in which all of this happened.
Very clear, sir. Check. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming to our invitation. It's such an honor for us.
Barakallahu feekum. Jazakumullahu khairan.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Dzulfikar for your excellence and for sharing your knowledge. I'm sure our audience has gained a valuable insight from you today.
Barakallahu feekum. Syukran lakum.
Baik, mungkin sekilas yang bisa saya simpulkan. Jadi ada yang disampaikan oleh Dr. Dzulfikar bahwa untuk di Amerika yang bisa digunakan dalam pengamatan atau penentuan awal bulan adalah ketika sebuah tempat mengalami fase malam yang sama gitu. Jadi ketika misalnya di Indonesia sudah malam dan di Mekah tadi juga sudah sama-sama malam dan hilal di Indonesia belum terlihat misalnya, dan di Mekah terlihat, maka Indonesia boleh masuk gitu karena mengalami sama-sama satu malam yang sama. Sedangkan untuk yang belum mengalami fase malam masih menjadi belum satu waktu. Tapi ketika telah melintasi waktu malam yang sama dan terlihat juga, otomatis masuklah ke dalam waktu yang sama juga. Mungkin itu sekilas yang bisa dapat saya sampaikan dan simpulkan dari pertanyaan juga. Mungkin juga banyak sekali poin-poin yang tidak tersampaikan karena waktu yang singkat. Baik, saya tutup dengan mengucap alhamdulillah, alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.